You know, I do constantly use my left earbud, like at all times as well.
I used to pop my jaw a lot, and for some reason it would go directly to my right ear.
I still pop my jaw a lot.
Yeah, it's not good.
There you go.
I did get a new doctor, though, and she actually listens to me. So
That's good.
I'm pretty excited about No, like, you know how you go to the doctor sometimes and they give you that questionnaire to fill out, and it's like, do you have any mental health issues? And you check yes, and then they do nothing about it.
Oh, yeah.
I checked yes.
So you're fine, right? You're okay?
Yeah. It's like, do you feel safe at home? I mean, yeah, cool. Moving on. But, like, she actually was like, hey, I noticed you checked this. Do you want to talk about it? Like, what's going on?
That's good.
I was like, I don't know, do I? I've never done this.
Oh my gosh, there was one time I was at like my checkup for whatever, and the lady asked one of those questions about like, oh, do you ever have like, you know, suicidal thoughts or, you know, depressive thoughts and things like that? And I was just like, oh.
How do I answer and
And
get
then-
help but not institutionalized?
And then I was literally like, no. And she was like, you said
You hesitated. That's what you hesitated.
And she was like, I'm gonna put sometimes. I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
I remember I had a couple of students that did the same kind of game. They were like, because I would have to ask, because if I noticed something, I was like, I have to ask you, are you okay? You feel
Yeah.
safe at home? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're like make these faces and like,
Yeah.
it's like, it's okay. Just, yeah. All right, you ready to go?
It's like, do you have suicidal thoughts? No more than usual. The usual number is 0. Oh.
This is the Always More podcast.
Hello and hello. It is July 27th, and welcome to the Always More podcast, where we believe there is always more room at the table for honest questions, meaningful conversations, and deeper understanding. Today on the pod, we are talking about Colombian drug lords, 10-foot ducks, Sasquatch, true crime, and so much more. But first, I am your host, Tim Lichty, and sitting across from me is my best friend in the whole entire world, Christopher Ford.
Yo.
Wow.
And sitting next to me is the greatest Gen Zer to have ever lived, and that is Harley
Wow.
B.
The greatest Gen Zer to ever Z.
Hey, I like that.
That's a really big label. Oh my God. I don't think I can live up to that.
I think you can. I think you got it.
Oh,
You're
man.
all right.
You're at least top 2.
And I'm not number 2. I tell you what. I'm just
There you go, Tyler.
How are we all doing today?
I think
How
we
is your
all
health today?
we all realize that we all have tinnitus at the same time.
Yes.
Which is
we were all
lovely.
just kind of like, oh,
Is that what
that's
that
not
is?
normal.
You hear that too?
I thought it was
Constant
just
ringing.
me.
It's like, because I was trying to explain tinnitus to my supervisor earlier. And she was just like, well, I kind of, because she's also experiencing ear problems right now. And she's like, well, mine's more of like a kind of sound in her ear. And I was like, no, it's like a security alarm is constantly
Yeah.
going off. And there's no passcode to turn it off. Like, it's just going.
It never stops.
It never stops. And then it's worse when it's silent.
Yes. Yeah, I hate the moments when it really like peaks up, like because
Yeah.
it'll come in waves, but like most of the time during the day, I don't notice it unless it's like super quiet and like there's nothing going on, and then all of a sudden you just hear it.
Yeah.
The ones that get me is like when I'm doing something like just randomly and it's just all of a sudden really loud and just like, ah!
Yeah. And you
Nah.
you got to like,
You got to shake it out.
Yeah.
like an Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah.
And you just gotta hope for the best when it doesn't go away. Yeah, that's a horrible feeling.
Yes. Well, guys, today we have broken our season 2 streak of providing a guest speaker every other week.
We'll get one eventually.
We
but
will.
just not this
We have
week.
some planned.
We probably could have had one if I had known we were recording Thursday in advance, but it's fine.
Oh, darn it.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
You know what? We'll talk after. Maybe we actually do have one, and we'll just sneak it in there.
We'll just switch things around.
Yeah.
Plot twist.
You guys will never know. Tim is a master of editing.
Yeah.
The things that you haven't heard yet. My God. All right. Moving on. It is time for our first segment of the day, and that is N Rev. This is the part of the show where we like to review and recommend things for you to check out.
I feel like this is the only thing we have done every week since like episode 1.
Probably
That and no, you guys haven't done What Did I Miss? on season 1 all the time.
No, we kind of
No, we
skipped
kind
there
of
once
bounced
in a while.
around, but
Yeah.
we always did a record.
But we do it now.
Yeah.
We do it now.
We do
It's
it
our
for the
favorite-
people.
It's our favorite
Yeah,
segment.
this is true.
It's the people's
Not
favorite.
mine.
The people.
I don't know.
They
That's true,
requested
but
it.
people keep listening, so I
They
guess.
need it.
Chris, you're the first one. What do you got?
Yeah, so my Wreck and Rev is actually a book that I have read and helped edit. by
Did you
Charlie.
really?
I did, yeah.
Nice.
So this is a book called Voices by Colleen Saffron, my mother-in-law.
Hey, nice.
And,
Yes.
Normally you
Mama.
have to give a shout out to in-laws and parents. You're like, oh, yeah, they did this great thing. Look at them. They're so cute. But this is like genuinely really, really good.
Mm.
So it's kind of like an anthology series of stories that she found pictures of old-timey women, basically, and wrote stories from their perspective, like little short stories. Truth be told, a lot of them end in murder.
Oh, okay.
As they should.
Man,
right?
this,
Yeah. Men were the worst.
yes.
But
Femme fatale.
they're all really good stories, really well written. She does a really good job of getting into the head of these different women and different perspectives and things like that. And it is just a phenomenal book that I would suggest picking up. You can get them on Amazon. They are.
Nice.
So it is
I don't remember
fictional?
how much it is.
I think it was like $10.
It's like a historical fiction. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Historical
Actually pretty
fiction. Colleen Saffron voices. It's phenomenal. Check it out.
You said it's $10?
I
think it
so.
was.
I don't.
Oh,
Truthfully, I don't remember. Janelle paid for it, and
very good.
but
Take
I have
money.
my copy. She signed it for me. It was really nice. So if you bring it to her, she'll sign it for you as well. And since you work at a library, if you wanted to buy a copy and sneak it in there, you could do that.
Absolutely. I just put it on a shelf somewhere. There's going to be no call number on it, but
No
people are going to
Dewey
be like,
Decimal
oh.
System.
I'm like, why is this
They
here?
find that book and they just know it was meant for them.
Oh,
you go.
absolutely.
All right, Harley, what do you have for us today?
Okay, so mine is a TikToker or like a content creator, and her name is Tanny Berlow, I think is how you pronounce her first and last name. I don't think I've ever heard her say her name now that I think about it. But basically, she's like kind of like a historian. She has her MBA in something historical. She hasn't really posted that on social media, but basically most of the things she talks about is historical content or like historical things that are either currently happening or have happened. She is based in either Australia or New Zealand. I'm not sure which.
Just based on the accent.
Yeah, based on the accent. That's all I got. But she's also native to one of those locations.
Okay.
I think she says she's Maori. How do you say it?
Maori.
Maori. Thank you.
Ah.
And so that's been pretty cool to learn about as well. But she just posts the most interesting content if you're interested in like history or like new things that are like coming out. Like she just recently talked about like a shipwreck that was discovered in like either 2012, but they haven't released anything about it until like now because they didn't want people to like, find
Ransack
it.
it,
Yeah.
treasure hunt it,
And so they're just,
Interesting.
Nathan Drake it.
Right.
precisely. And so they're like now finally coming out with
Nicolas
like this
Cage.
information. And so, yeah, it's really cool. She's a very cool woman, very educated woman. And I love women.
We stand educated women.
Amen.
At
We,
the Always
we
More
just stand
podcast.
women in general. We support women's rights. And most importantly, we support women's wrongs.
Except for Amber Heard.
Oh,
You had to go there.
Jeez,
Did you
dude.
see that her appeal got rejected?
I did.
Yeah.
I was going to bring that up, and it's hilarious to me. But I don't care what you want,
No,
Amber.
sorry, honey.
Just no. Shh.
You're making it worse. Just move on. All right.
Damn.
Mine is it's an older movie, which feels weird to say because it's 1997. I was 6
How
at the
dare
time.
you? That movie is still young and hip. It is relevant.
I wasn't even thought of.
Well,
That's hurtful.
Sorry.
so this movie called The Game. So Jessica and I, we were the other night just wanted to watch something, and
It's
it
a good
came.
movie.
You've watched it?
Yeah.
We came across it. We'd never seen it before, and so we decided to get into it. It's starring Michael Douglas, Sean Penn, and Deborah Kara Unger. So here's the synopsis. In honor of his birthday, San Francisco banker Nicholas Von Orton, which reminds me of Barney Stinson's what's the name that he uses? Matterhorn.
Um.
Something Von Matterhorn.
Ulrich von Matterhorn,
Something like
Ludwig. I don't know.
Yeah, something.
He had two names because they were
right.
twin brothers. I know that.
All right, sorry. If you don't know, you don't know.
I don't know. It's me. I'm the one who doesn't know.
The girls that know.
Yeah. Okay. So let me start back. So in honor of
get
his
to
birthday,
use that
San
saying.
Francisco banker Nicholas von Orton, a financial genius and a cold-hearted loner, receives an unusual present from his younger brother Conrad. Which, what a name! A gift certificate to play a unique kind of game. In nearly a nanosecond, which I think is an exaggeration, Nicholas finds himself consumed by a dangerous set of ever-changing rules, unable to distinguish where the charade ends and reality begins.
Charade?
Chameleon.
Encyclopedia. This movie was actually really enjoyable. It's one of those movies that it does a really good job of covering up what you feel like or what could be happening, because you know something's up. You know it's trying to twist your mind, but you really can't tell
It's like
where
M.
it's going
Night
to end.
Shyamalan.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And it does have a twist, but there's you get to this point in the film, maybe 2/3 of the way through, and you go, okay, here are the 3 ways this movie is going to end. It just doesn't tell you which way it's going to end until it finally hits there. But even then, when it finally happened, that jump, so to speak, I was like, wait, is there something else coming around the corner? Is there something else? I felt like even to the last second, I was like,
am I missing something?
Right.
I feel like there's still some unanswered.
everyone's too happy right now. What's going on?
Yeah. If it were a modern movie, it would have 20 extra minutes and everything would go wrong.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, it was really good. Had some thrillers to it. Michael Douglas did a great job. Yeah, the game.
Wow.
Go check it out.
That sounds pretty. Who's Michael Douglas? What else is he in?
We're old. He is he's Hank Pym. Wait. Right? Yeah, Hank Pym.
From what?
Ant-Man.
Hank.
The old guy that
Yeah.
trains Paul Rudd,
Yeah.
even though they're probably the same age because Paul Rudd is a vampire.
Scott Lang is Paul Rudd's character. And then Hank Pym is the creator. That's Michael Douglas.
That guy.
Oh.
Except this was 20 years ago, so he a little bit younger. I mean, he still kind of passes like a 50-year-old. Actually, I don't know how old he is. How old is he?
I don't know. I just had it pulled up.
Seasoned.
He is seasoned.
He's seasoned.
It's interesting going back, because I've been doing that more often, is trying to go back and watch older films. Like I watched Apocalypse Now a couple weeks ago. And my God.
Not even in English and still such a great movie.
It is. Wait, what?
No, I'm thinking Apocalyptica.
So, yeah, like say
Sorry,
what?
Wrong one.
What did you watch? You didn't have the right audio in. But yeah, it's kind of interesting to kind of look at some of these actors that we knew
He's
growing up, but we didn't.
77 now.
Is he really?
Michael Douglas.
77?
77 years
Wow.
old.
But kind of go back and watching them when they're in their, not their prime necessarily, but just kind of where they got their big movies and whatnot. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Very good.
All right, very nice. Well, up next we have Gen Z's favorite segment, and that
Woo,
is
woo, woo.
Harley's Hot Takes.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so I thought of this today, actually, while I was driving. Today. Because
Today?
I saw a real estate vehicle driving past me. And he kind of drove like a
Like a maniac?
jackbutt, a donkey, if you will. And so I was kind of just thinking about it. And I was like, you know what? Real estate agents and car salesmen give me the same vibes as stockbrokers on Wall Street.
All right.
But of the middle class, you know?
The middle class ones?
You know,
yeah.
I used to sell cars.
Shh. I was going to include door-to-door salesman, but I was like, oh, that's Chris.
Hey, I'm not door to door though. All right. I am specifically new homes.
Oh, okay.
Door to the other doors.
I drive
Yeah.
door to door. I don't walk.
But then that's also that would include Jehovah's Witness. And I'm like, they're not salesmen, but they try to sell you Jesus.
Yeah, yeah.
So
More
I'm
or
like,
less, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's how
Those guys.
Vivint got its start, right?
Mormons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah, Vivint. Actually, it was pest control, though.
Oh, really?
It was just that model because the founder was Mormon.
Okay.
Wow.
So that's kind of what he was used to. So he started in pest control and then switched to security.
Wow.
Interesting.
But yeah, no, they all give me the same vibe.
Yeah.
You just don't like them. Yeah, they're just money hungry and
Chris, as a
Don't like
as
it.
a former sales cars.
Oh, I agree.
Okay.
100%. Yeah, no, I was in car sales for a year, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I was like, look, I get it. I understand it's a job people have to do. It's not for me.
Yeah.
And
Like, they really take advantage of people.
a lot of the times they do, yeah. I have one friend that I still am in communication with from car salesmanship. He's a good dude. He's where I get my cars when I need them. Other than that, like, most of the people I worked with, I would not buy a car from.
Yeah.
There's some good ones out there, for
Right.
sure. But
Yeah.
most of them, I'm like, let me not.
Yeah. So that's what I was thinking about today. Because I was like, you're supposed to be nice. And then I thought about, what's that movie with Eddie Murphy, Haunted Mansion?
Yeah.
You know how, like, adamant he was about like selling these houses?
Yeah.
Like, same vibes. Like, just don't care about anything else except for getting the money.
It's an industry that they kind of force you into that mentality, though.
Yeah.
Like, people that genuinely want to help people are not going to be successful in these industries.
Facts.
So it's hard to actually make money that way.
Capitalism.
Yeah, I
it's,
love
It
it.
is essentially capitalism in a snapshot because that's how all of capitalism works.
Yeah.
So that's my hot take, which really isn't a hot take because I think everyone can collectively agree.
Everyone agrees.
Except for real estate agents and, I almost said stockbrokers, car
Well,
salesmen.
also stockbrokers. But
Oh, yeah. But that's how we're feeling today,
And we're not saying
guys.
that they're all. We're not saying that all. If you are out there and you're listening, we're not saying that you individually are a jerk or whatever. But there is a stereotype.
If it don't apply, let it fly. Okay?
There you go.
I said what I said.
Have the day you deserve.
yeah,
Yeah.
Have the day you deserve.
there you go.
So yeah, that's where we're at today.
Very nice. Thank you, Gen Zer, for your hot take.
You're welcome. We're taking down capitalism one hot take at a time.
God, I hope so.
Like that.
And any way we can chip away at it.
I did that.
Thank you.
All right, moving along, it is time for the segment that you have all been waiting for, and that is,
What did I miss?
this is the part of the show where we like to present to you some news that you probably didn't hear about. All right, guys, I got a fun one for y'all today.
Do you?
And I got a game. I have a game involved with it. So here's the
What in the
news.
Saul,
Before
I'm
you
just
start, how many puns are going to be involved
Nope.
in this?
Nope. Actually, kind of. So
Son of a-
this is it's not really.
Actually, kind
No,
of.
no, it's not. No, it's not. So this is Lost and Found Uber Edition. So the rideshare company published its 2022 Lost and Found Index on June 3rd, and the index is based on missing item reports filled by
I mean,
passengers.
filed.
Okay,
What did I say?
You said filled.
doesn't matter.
Oh, thank
Keep
you.
rolling.
Filed. So basically, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to present to you guys some things, and then we're going to play a game. So here are the 10 most commonly forgotten items. Can you guess, like, maybe the top 5?
Phone, wallet.
Literally, you're in the right order so
keys.
far. Yes. Oh my God, you're on a roll. Can you do 4 and 5?
Hold on.
Wow.
Purse. Is that 4?
Yes.
Okay. Jacket.
Oh no, you were so close though.
What was the last
You're
one?
on a roll.
That was pretty good.
It's very good. Phone or / camera, wallet, keys, backpack / purse, and headphones.
Headphones.
Wow, that was impressive though.
I didn't even think of the headphones.
That was
As
impressive.
we're wearing
And I
them.
should have. I literally just bought a new pair of headphones. It's in my pocket
Because
as we
you
speak.
lost the other pair in an Uber.
No, I don't Uber too often.
Wow, for
Unless-
shame.
I don't
unless
think I've
it's
ever
like-
been in one.
to-
I own a car.
Carbon emissions.
I own a car. Why would
You're
I?
doing it either way.
I mean, true.
Yeah.
There's one less car. Somebody
Yeah, but
else's
somebody
car.
else has to drive from their house to my house and then take me to my destination. So that's more carbon.
But it's one less car on the road, Chris.
Number 6 was glasses. Number 7 was clothing. Number 8 was vape. Number 9 was jewelry. And number 10 was ID. Okay,
Well, why is your ID not in your wallet?
Or your purse.
that is interesting.
Slash
I don't know.
backpack.
Well,
Who's,
but
who's
I
just
do a
free
thing.
balling their ID?
Whenever I go out, I try not to bring a purse or a thing because
that's
that's
why.
easy to get snatched. So you kind of just shove your ID or your card in your pocket.
Yeah.
But I have like a holder that holds both of them, so that's like way easier. But I can kind of understand that.
All right. This is the 10 most forgetful cities. Can you start with number 1?
Dallas.
New York.
No. Austin.
Ah!
Second year in a row, apparently.
Oh, 6th Street, dude.
Austin makes
I'm
sense.
so
Yeah.
stupid.
Austin makes sense.
Number 2, Charlotte. Number 3, Houston. Number 4, Indianapolis. 5, Dallas.
Oh, so 3 major Texas cities are on there, though.
Texas, man. 6, Kansas City. 7, Atlanta. 8, Tampa Bay. 9, Columbus. And 10, Phoenix.
Los Angeles
To be
isn't
fair,
on
though,
there?
to be fair,
Wow.
Texas has like 4 out of the U.S.'s 5 biggest cities.
This is true.
Right. Okay, so here's where we're going to play a game. So
No.
they came out in this list 50 most unique lost items.
Zune.
So hold on. So we're going to play a game.
What is a Zune?
There's 50.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
I don't like this episode. I feel so old.
It was basically the Microsoft's trying to be competitive with iPod.
Oh, okay. Wait, no, we talked about that on our Gen Z
did,
episode with me and Tiara.
Yeah. Okay, so they came out with the 50 most unique lost items. And so here's how we're going to play this game. We have 5 rounds, and I'm going to give you 4 options. One of them is not on the list.
All right, but we got to go quick.
Okay, we got this. Okay, you ready? Round 1. Quote, some tater tots. 2, Friends complete series box set signed by Matthew Perry. 3, Paw Patrol blanket. Or 4, pizza costume. Which one was not on that list?
I'm going to say the Paw Patrol blanket.
Okay.
Pizza costume.
You are both wrong. It is the Friends complete series box set signed by Matthew Perry.
I was really hoping that was on there.
Me too.
This is
The tater tots, though, that immediately
Some
I was
tater-
like, tater tots have to be, some tater tots have to be there.
That's what it said on the article.
Who files a report for that?
I just lost some tater tots.
I left some of my tater tots.
Not even all of them.
Right.
Just some of them. I had the rest in my
I
pocket.
counted 3 over here. I'm missing.
I had the rest in my
I
pocket.
ordered 8.
All right,
Poor
Napoleon
missing.
Dynamite. All right, number 2, Hello Kitty boxers. Number 2, pie. Number 3, a breathalyzer. Or 4, 2 pair of snorkeling goggles and a passport from China.
Whatever the first one was.
The Hello Kitty boxers.
Yeah.
Is that both your answers?
No, I think those are definitely in there.
Okay.
What was the B? What was B?
Pie.
Pie?
3, breathalyzer. 4,
Breathalyzer.
2 pairs of snorkeling goggles.
I'm
and
saying
a
the
passport.
breathalyzer.
I feel like the breathalyzer was on there. You can buy those at Target.
Okay, so what's your official
Don't ask
answer?
me how I
Can
know.
you?
Yeah. Gonna go with a pie.
Okay.
I'm saying breathalyzer.
You're both wrong. It's the Hello Kitty boxers.
I
Mother-
should have known.
Man, I'm
I
doing really
should've
good
known.
here.
It's literally both of
I
our
made these
first
up.
guess.
I was going to say, this is your game, obviously.
All right, round number 3. Antique walking cane with a sword. 20 pounds of horse poop.
Oh.
500 grams of caviar. Or spray tan machine.
Spray tan machine.
Horse poop.
20 pounds of horse poop.
Yes.
Mother trucker.
All right. I
I
got
feel
a
like they
point.
could have put that in the trunk.
All right, round 4.
Newer.
A Billie Eilish ukulele. Breast pump and a white cowboy hat. That's 1. 5 pounds
Together.
of popsicle sticks. Or 6 pool drains and an Employee of the Month plaque.
Well, 6 pool drains and Employee of the Month pack.
That's your answer?
Yeah, because, I mean, if you're Employee of the Month at a pool place and you're leaving 6 different drains in the car, obviously you don't deserve the Employee of the Month plaque. So I'm saying that one. That one's the one that's
I'm
not
gonna
there.
go with the breast pump one.
You're both wrong. It is 5 pounds of popsicle sticks.
Dude.
I would think like a
Arts and
teacher or
crafts.
something.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, round number 5.
But why with a cowboy hat? A white cowboy
Breast
hat.
pump and white cowboy hat. That's hilarious. What is going on there? Round number 5, last one. Brown turtle. Grandma's teeth. A used pregnancy test.
That was definitely there.
Or
100%.
or a windmill.
A windmill.
Is that the windmill?
Is that your final answers?
Yeah.
Is it windmill?
Yeah.
You're both wrong. It's a
Rick.
used pregnancy test.
What?
Are you kidding me?
There's no way they use pregnancy tests. No.
Dude,
There's
that's
no way that
definitely
one's
been
not.
on one.
There's-
Definitely been on one.
Although, hold on. No.
I don't think it was
Although-
used in the car.
It depends on the
You-
city.
You never know.
Have you been to Austin lately? So here's my thing, though. He might be right because these are reported
Right.
missing things.
Yeah, who's going to report that?
I wouldn't report it.
I would report it. I'd be like, look at this pregnancy test. Positive. Good luck. You like message them, the writer. Be like, hey, one of you or your girlies left this in the car.
Also, maybe it's your driver's used pregnancy test. Who knows?
Oh, perhaps. I don't know. Wow, that
Women
was
can
really
drive
bad.
now.
I was really bad at that.
I'm really impressed with myself here. I really tripped you guys up a lot.
I got one.
You got one.
Absolutely.
I got one, so I win.
You won.
You
I
got the
win.
horse poop.
Yeah,
Horse poop.
Horse. Shh.
that would be the one that I win with, though.
All right, Chris, what you got?
I don't have anything after that.
I meant your. What did I miss?
Yeah, I know.
He said, I said what I said.
I'm still in shock. All right, so here's my story, right? Almost as weird, almost as fun. Man accused of killing friend claims it was to stop him from summoning Sasquatch.
That makes sense. Absolutely.
So is it a confession?
Yes.
Yes.
Jesus.
100%. An Oklahoma noodler, Larry Dahl Sanders.
What does that mean?
Noodling is it's a Appalachian way of fishing for catfish. Basically, you go into the water with where the catfish are. You find a crevice or a crack or something, and you stick your arm in there as bait.
Yeah.
The catfish like latches onto your arm, and you pull it out, and now you've got a catfish.
Yeah, you grab it by its insides and.
Okay, thank you for that. Continue, please.
Yeah, noodling.
What?
Larry Dahl Sanders, who was 53, was arrested and reportedly confessed to killing
53?
his fishing partner, Jimmy Knighton,
not
also
that hard.
53, claiming he did so to stop Bigfoot from coming to eat him. Larry claimed that while at the river, he discovered Jimmy intended to feed him to Sasquatch.
What?
This is on an affidavit cited by NBC News. They said that Larry indicated Jimmy attempted to get away from him so that the Sasquatch could eat Larry. It's like, you're not going to let this Sasquatch eat me. It's like, he killed his friend, his fishing partner at that. Like, you got to be on some stuff to kill your fishing partner.
Yeah, that's some.
That's
I don't
a
know the
bond.
bond.
That's a bond closer than brothers.
I
telling
don't
you.
know that bond. So you're
Your noodler pal. Yeah, and that's
Like, noodling is actually a very dangerous thing because a lot of times you have to go underwater, so you need somebody that you trust to bring you back up.
my problem here lies in the fact that this man is like, dude, that's Bigfoot right there. Are you trying to sacrifice me to Bigfoot? Like, you're telling me he saw Bigfoot.
So here's my thing. It never mentions that he saw Bigfoot. It just, he thought his noodling partner was summoning Bigfoot to come kill. Let me finish the story. Hold
Okay,
on.
thank you.
Okay, so Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigations told the news station that Sanders thought Knighton basically tricked him into being out there and that the two fought for an hour. Sanders allegedly choked Knighton to death near the river, then went home and confessed to his daughter, who was dating Knighton's son.
Oh,
Dog.
wow.
Yeah. So the news station reported that Sanders had outstanding warrants from 2 drug-related cases, obviously. In 2019, he was placed on probation for 5 years for bringing meth into the jail after being arrested for public intoxication.
The balls on this man.
He just does not care. Sanders is now facing a charge of first-degree murder, obviously. So,
Does this remind you at all of Lord of the Rings? Smeagol and
yeah, 100%. That's the fight scene I saw in my
Yeah.
head when this
Yeah,
happened.
exactly.
Except instead of fighting for the ring, they were fighting to not be eaten by Sasquatch. It's like, I'll kill you. I'll let Sasquatch kill you. Ah! The thing that got me was that it was his daughter's boyfriend's dad, as well
Yes.
as his fishing partner.
they could have been brothers.
I told you, the bond is stronger than brothers. Like,
Noodling.
noodling. They're noodling together. Well, not anymore. They were noodling together.
They were noodlers.
I'm sorry. A man died. It's not funny. I'm sorry. It's a little funny.
You okay, Harley?
I think I killed Harley.
Said they were noodlers. Oh man, Rip in peace. What is his name? Jimmy. Rip in peace, Jimmy. Jimmy. That's so bad.
All right, Harley, take us out
I
of
don't
this.
even think I can. What is going on today?
This was a good. What did I miss?
Yeah, it was a good one. That was great.
So mine is more like historical, kind of cool than like pure chaos, I guess. So basically, Vincent van Gogh's self-portrait was discovered behind another painting.
Oh, I saw this.
Cool.
Yes.
Very nice.
So
I did not see
basically,
this.
conservators at the National Galleries of Scotland began a routine X-ray of a Vincent van Gogh painting entitled "Head of a Peasant Woman." So, and then if you scroll all the way to the bottom of the notes, there's like
Ooh.
photos of him.
Let me see.
So to their surprise, they discovered
Okay.
a forgotten Van Gogh self-portrait on the other side of it.
Oh.
So Van Gogh was known for like reusing his canvases as a way to save money because poor artist
Yeah.
things.
Why would you not?
And so he would just simply
I like that.
flip over the canvas and paint on the other side. And so, according to the National Gallery of Scotland's press, in this case, when the head of a peasant woman was lent to an exhibition in, I can't even pronounce that, it's in Amsterdam. I'm not.
Ooh, hold on, let me try it.
Please.
Let's see. Okay, where is it? Head of
Strategic.
peasant woman.
Studetch. I don't know.
Stedelijk Museum in Amsterdam. The decision was made to stick the canvas down on cardboard before framing it. So that when this painting was first lent to this exhibition, it was like in 19 something. And so they were just like, well, the head of the peasant woman looks more finished than the self portrait of Van Gogh. So we're gonna put this side on cardboard and we'll put it in the frame and we'll put it up. So this self-portrait was hidden for like
Lovely.
decades.
I don't understand art, truthfully. Like,
No, yeah.
I understand
Says
art.
the
I don't
artist.
understand art world.
No.
Like, people
Yeah.
pay millions for these paintings, and then they lend them to the museum where
Yeah.
they stay anyway. Like, if I bought a painting for $1 million, you better believe that painting is going in my
Right.
house,
Yeah.
and nobody else is looking
Going
at
above
it.
the headrest. Like, it's
This
right
is my
there.
painting. I paid for this. It's staying in my house.
Right.
Oh, you found a painting on the back of my painting? That's mine too.
Yeah.
I bought them
Both
both.
of them.
I paid for that
Both of
canvas.
Both of them.
Both.
So basically now the next step is to find a way to efficiently remove the cardboard and the glue from the oil paint in a way that will still preserve both the self-portrait and the head of the peasant woman painting.
Talking about those like really specified jobs, somebody out there is like, now's my time to shine.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
This is what I've
They're
trained
like,
for.
I specialize in this kind of glue.
Yeah. Like, this is what I've
For
trained for.
years, I've been preparing a concoction just for this moment.
They laughed at me when I ate paste in kindergarten, but now who's laughing?
I can charge whatever I want.
This is gold.
I would get millions for this.
My wife prepared the fine dinner, the fine china.
The tiny forks with a diamond encrusted.
She's like, honey, we pawned those years ago. So you can get...
Well, now we can buy them back. Fetch me my drapery. I don't know what rich people do.
No, yeah, same.
Come
But
on,
yeah.
boss, I quit.
So that's pretty cool. And it's a
Very
very interesting self-portrait. And it was right before he cut his ear off. So he
So
still
it has both ears in it.
he still has, well, he still has the left ear because it's like left side portrait. So he still got the left one.
You know, a lot of people told him, Vincent van Gogh, you can't be a great painter. You've only got one ear. And you know what he said? I can't hear you.
On that note, I think we will be done with this. We went a little long, but you know what? It was fun. It was worth it.
That's what she said.
Hey. All right. Moving along, we have our main segment coming up, talking about true crime. Don't go anywhere. We'll be. We are back.
Are we?
Yes, we are. Guys, welcome back to our show. Today, we are talking about true crime. Because who doesn't love to just sit in front of their TVs and watch documentaries and movies and shows about real-life murder?
I love that shit.
It's
love
a
it.
weird fascination our country has. 100%.
It's so bad,
I actually am curious. I should have looked this up. I wonder what the stats are. Like, is this as popular in other developed nations?
Almost certainly
as America?
not. Almost certainly not.
But now
we have like a fetish for death and murder and
well, good point.
crime.
Harley and I were talking, and like we acknowledge that women especially
Yeah.
have a huge fascination. My wife has watched Criminal Minds all the way through,
She's plotting to kill you.
and she's halfway through it again already.
Right.
And that show's like 20 seasons long.
Yeah, my wife is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
She's also plotting to kill me.
It's a real fear.
Harley, if our wives are planning to kill us, you would tell us, right?
Absolutely not.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Girl code.
So today we just wanted to have some fun and talk about some true crime things. So our main three segments: true crime shows, true crime documentaries, and true crime movies. And we want to just kind of go over some of our favorite ones, and also we want you guys to let us know what your favorite ones
Yes.
are. And because who doesn't enjoy talking about this stuff? And so
It's kind of, yeah, it's really bad. it's bad, but it is what it is.
all right. So I think we should just kind of go all over the place with it. I'll start, and then we'll just take turns going back and forth with our true crime shows. So Chris cheated a little bit, just letting you know, I think, unless he changed it since we last talked about it. But the way I've just described and classified true crime is that it's based on true crimes.
Yes.
Okay.
How did I cheat?
Criminal Minds doesn't not always do that, does it?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, the main storyline of the BAU is all made up. That's all on its own. But the crimes that they're investigating are all based on true crimes.
I think Law and Order is a bit more like
Law
this.
and Order is...
Every episode is like...
Law and Order is a little more based on true stuff, but...
Okay.
But yeah, Criminal Minds is absolutely...
Especially
So I guess I'll start, since you're just going to throw me under the bus. Criminal Minds. That would be one of my favorite true crime TV shows.
Who's your favorite character?
Spencer Reed. Same as everybody else.
Yeah.
He's the best. Literally, like, the best.
Jessica met him.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, she got a picture.
Matthew Gray Gubler? Goobler?
Goobler.
Goobler.
Run him his credit, okay?
All right,
The
fair enough.
Goob.
Yeah,
No,
her and Melissa went to go see his new movie, and it was like in Austin and everything. And
Oh, cool. He was at the premiere. That's awesome. I've heard he's a really cool dude. Pretty down to earth, pretty chill as far as like an actor, but his character is just like, for me, I attach myself to his character because he's such a great character.
Yeah.
Crazy smart, worries about mental illness, which most smart people, if they don't, they should.
Sociopathic.
Right.
Yeah, he's borderline sociopathic, much like myself. So yeah, pretty cool setup. The show, I really like following the character's development. One of my favorite interactions is between Prentice, the background computer girl, and whatever his name is that I cannot remember. Shamar Moore plays his character.
Yeah.
I love their interactions just because they're hilarious and adorable. And it's always great when she does not know that she's on speakerphone. And then she's just like, ooh.
And she's like saying how she wants to eat him, and he's
Yeah.
like,
She's like, hey, sexy chocolate bear. And he's like, you're on speaker, baby.
she's like,
Yeah.
all right, well, anyways, here's what I found.
That's always great. So that's my first one, I guess, since you want to throw me under the bus.
All right, Harley, what do you got? What's one of yours?
So mine is going to also jump around because some of them are actually on YouTube. So
YouTubes.
they're not really like shows, but
She's going deep for her. True
oh
crimes.
yeah. So it's, but I consider them shows because it's just an individual upload. So the first one that I know a lot of my generation loves, especially in high school, BuzzFeed Unsolved True Crime.
Ooh.
That's some good stuff. You got Shane and Ryan, Shane Madej. Dej? I can't remember if you pronounce the J or not at the end. And then Ryan, what is his last name? Can't remember.
I truly don't know.
It's so good. They basically just sit at a desk and then they talk about true crime stories and they go over, a lot of them are unsolved. All of them are unsolved, actually.
As they should be.
And so, but then they talk about like the possible theories that like why, like who actually did it or like what happened. And there is usually like 1 to 3 theories and it's very interesting. And then the people get to pick like which theory they think it actually is. Super good stuff. Like literally, I think they've covered every single crime case ever.
Interesting.
Like, what's his name? Jack the Ripper. They've gone even as far as like England and like all over the world. So good. Love them. They're hilarious. They make the most terrible jokes. They're millennials, so maybe you guys should watch it.
Maybe.
You know, I'm not as into true crime as I think I could be. If I got into it, I think like I would dive into it. That's my problem. Like I don't want to like, I don't want to end up in that world where I forced him to make this a true crime podcast like
that's
all
valid.
the time. But I feel like
Always more.
I-
Always more.
'cause
Always
I-
more crime.
Oh, that's so bad.
I mean we have Nerd. We're working on some other things. Maybe that could be one of them.
Yeah, give 'em time.
Perhaps. We'll get there.
Let's make it happen. All right.
GM.
Okay, so I'm kind of in the same boat as Chris, actually. There's a lot of shows I realized that I watched that I didn't think were true crime, but actually kind of were. Now, I'm playing loosey-goosey because some of these shows are based on true stories or based on real crime, kind of like, you know, Criminal Minds, I guess. But this one was one of my favorites because, one, it was just really well made. But two, it was actually kind of like the start of, what is it called in Criminal Minds?
BAU.
Yeah, and it's basically behavioral science and learning how... Well, here's the summary. So the first one is for Mindhunter. And if you haven't watched this,
You need to.
you really need to.
This was one of my favorite shows. Actually, I think we told you guys about this one.
You probably did. It's a really great show. So created by Joe Penhall, created by starring Jonathan Groff, Holt McColney, and Anna Torv. In 1979, Agent Holden Ford is attached to the FBI's Behavioral Science Unit, headed by veteran Agent Bill Tench. A new type of killer is emerging, one that kills regularly and without apparent motive. Due to the lack of motive, it is difficult to profile and apprehend the perpetrator in a murder investigation.
Fun fact, there's a long-standing case that starts in episode 1 and just goes through the full, at least first season. I don't know if it'll be in the second, but it's the BTK killer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He worked for ADT. Just throwing that out there.
So go with Vivint.
I didn't say that.
I said it. You're
All I
welcome.
said was that he worked for ADT, and that's how he got
hold
in-
it. We got
that's
you,
how he
Chris.
got
Okay,
into it.
look. Just go with
Shameless
Vivint.
plug.
Shameless plug.
So this is
You can reach us at our phone line.
this is basically like the start of convincing people that, hey, murder is not just people going crazy or like people just being sinful or whatever it is. It was like,
It's not
no,
always passion.
right. There's actual motive and there's psychological parts of your growing up that can alter who you are and cause you to go down these paths. It's not,
Yeah, like criminology.
right. And it was really just the start of all that. It's truly remarkable because they go across the country to basically try to convince people and show people like this is what it's like, and everyone's like, no, I had that kind of as a kid and I didn't turn out like this. And it's like, it's so much more complicated. It's so much more nuanced than
we're
what
we're just giving you like a basic profile,
Right.
and it turns out that they were right like all of the time.
Right.
But the police just didn't want to hear him out. Same thing is like watching Criminal Minds. When the BAU shows up, the cops are like, no, that's not it, and then they're right because they know what they're doing. It was the science behind that. Also, Jonathan Groff was Kristoff in Frozen.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I
And-
recognize that.
and,
And King
King-
George in Hamilton.
You'll be
you
back.
say the price of my love.
love's not a price that you're willing to pay.
Yeah, it truly is also ironically, it came out like 3 years ago, but it was a perfect metaphor to how we treat like everything in the science community. Just because it's like, well, that's not how it works, or just use common sense. It's that kind of mentality. It's like, no, there's science that we have it for a reason.
Some people are genetically predisposed to being bad.
Yeah.
Okay. There's things that happen.
Yeah. All right. Who wants to go next, Chris?
Yeah, so Mindhunter was on mine. Obviously, we've already talked about Law and Order SVU, so that's kind of out as well.
Sorry.
I mean, no, it's fine. It saves us time. Law and Order SVU with Ice-T. It's like my favorite.
What?
That's the one with Ice-T, the actor, right?
Yeah.
I thought so. Yeah,
I've never watched
I
those
never knew if
shows.
it was SVU or CI. Yeah, so they handle New York's most sensitive cases of sexual assault and murder and things like that. But you've got
What is their thing?
1980s
Heinous
rapper
crime.
Ice-T as one of the cops.
Oh.
There's
It's incredible.
There's a joke that John Mulaney does when he's talking about that, and he's like, hey, "This is my favorite thing. I could just watch Ice-T realize what's going on in these cases for hours. You mean to tell me that there's a guy that gets off on little girls? Yeah, T, that's kind of your whole division. Like, yeah, 100%.
What y'all do?
That's what you do." So that one's always a really cool show to watch, and you know that theme song, everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Dum, 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 dum,
Oh,
dum.
yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, you might as well just finish off your list here.
Yeah, and I'll just comment on you guys' list because y'all's are way longer than mine.
Sorry. Mine,
So
I
I'm
know
not
a lot.
sorry.
the last one, I am only 2 episodes into this show because
It's on
it
my
is
list.
so hard to watch. This one is based on the Central Park 5 that were recently exonerated, became the Exonerated 5. It's called When They See Us. And it is a breakdown of the court case and everything that led up to that for the 5 teenagers. They were 14 to 16 that were charged with the brutal rape of a woman in Central Park that they did not do.
Wasn't it also murder?
No, she's alive. Like,
thought-
she
oh,
was
okay.
one of the witnesses they called.
Oh, okay.
She couldn't remember anything, which is part of the reason they all went to prison. But
Yeah.
all of these kids were like 14, 16, wrong place, wrong time, literally did nothing.
It's giving Scottsboro 9, if you know anything about that, too.
Yeah, very similar. And they were all, 4 of them were black, 1 of them was Hispanic. And they were sent to prison for the brutal rape of this woman that they had nothing to do with. DNA evidence proved that it was not them. Their stories were all coerced. They were told multiple times what to say, and then they said it, and then they got thrown in prison for it, even though the police promised them, you say what we want you to say, you'll go home.
Yeah.
That's all those kids wanted. And, like, all of the kids were, like, much smaller than the woman as well. Like, she could have taken any one of those kids. So they had to prove, like, oh, they did it gang style. And, like, there's zero evidence, but they got thrown in prison anyway. They're finally exonerated, and it's just a really rough story to watch because you see how the criminal justice system treats black kids, basically.
Yeah.
They wanted it to stick, so they made it stick. And those kids suffered for decades.
It's horrible.
Yeah. Harley.
My next one is 48 Hours. I don't know if this one is more local to Texas or not.
I've never laid my eyes on this show.
Oh, it's so
Never heard
good. It's
I've
like
heard of First 48.
Yeah, is that not the same thing?
Is it First 48?
Maybe. Let me look it up real quick.
First 48 is...
It's like everything.
That's been around for a long time.
Yeah, maybe. I think that's the same thing. Hold on.
Is it like you have 48 hours to find somebody that's been kidnapped? It's on AE,
No, not kidnapped,
Or
but
like
just like...
murdered, whatever.
Oh,
you
no,
have
so mine is
48 hours,
different.
48 hours to solve a crime.
There's a
No,
difference?
mine is different. Okay.
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 It's like an ongoing TV show. There's 35 seasons.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, it's going. So basically what it is it's like basically kind of similar, except for it's true crime things occurring as they are being recorded. And it's a countdown clock of like 48 hours of them trying to catch the killer or like the person who committed this crime.
Okay.
A lot of the episodes that I have seen have been in like Texas. So that's always been really interesting. So that's why I'm kind of like, is it more Texas local? But
There's also a lot of weirdos in Texas.
this is a fact, especially in Waco. Waco, Texas is
Ooh.
freaking insane.
That's another one I forgot to put on my list. I'm sorry. Keep going. Sorry.
No, you're fine. But that's really it. It's basically follows a true crime scenario as it is occurring in the next 48 hours. Most of the time, they are successful in capturing the person because these are mostly like small towns.
Okay.
But yeah, very, very interesting. And something that is a very similar along the lines is Cops. Love me some Cops. Bad boys, what you gonna do? Did you ever watch that?
Briefly, yeah.
Yeah.
We grew up in the 90s, yes.
Yes.
We definitely watched
Sorry.
it.
My favorite is when they're like chasing the
3
people.
o'clock in the morning. you
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
So those are my 2 shows that are like very similar. So they're boom. Ta-da.
All right.
Keep going. Might as well.
Oh, okay.
I think it's going to be quicker this way.
Next,
Yeah, we got to blow through these.
this is true.
There's a lot.
Next up is another YouTube show, ongoing series thing by Bailey Sarian. A lot of I feel like female listeners might know this. It's Murder, Mystery, and Makeup. She does her makeup while talking about true crime, and it's very cool.
That seems like there was an issue a while back that in China, TikTok was taking down videos of people that were talking about the protests.
Oh, yeah.
So people were like doing makeup tutorials, and they're like, "So what I like to do is apply my mascara and then go protest on 6th Street with whoever it was."
It's definitely not to that extent, but it's more just like it gives her. I know a lot of people who do true crime stuff. And they just kind of tell you the story of it on YouTube. But she's like just doing her makeup because originally it just started as her just doing her makeup. And then she started talking about these stories and people were like, well, we like to see both sides of this. This is pretty cool. Her makeup is never themed around these crime stories. But I've learned some very interesting ones and she talks about a lot of ones that are also documentaries. So like Ted Bundy, not Jack the Ripper. What's his name? Night Stalker. Zodiac Killer, all
Somebody
that kind
said
of
we
stuff.
need to start giving these serial killers worse names.
Yeah.
Because like Night Stalker sounds cool. Like Zodiac Killer is
Right.
cool. We need to start calling them like the little PP murderer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe they'll stop.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, because they're embarrassed. Next up is, I think Tim will probably mention this one later. American Crime Stories: The People versus OJ.
That was a really good one.
Really good. When that came out, I think it was 2017.
Yeah.
I want to say. I binged watched the out of that. It was so good. I'm trying not to curse as much, okay?
That's fair.
I don't want to make this a rated E.
It's piling up.
Yeah.
It's rated E for everyone.
And then next up is on Netflix. It's called Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah.
That's been around for a while too.
I think it's technically, I guess, I don't want to call it a documentary because each episode is different, so I'm going to call it a TV show. But obviously, it's about unsolved true crime.
Yeah.
So, cool. It was very good.
Awesome.
Mine, I'll pick up in the same vein here as Harley. It's American Crime Story. It's the same show, but each season is a different crime story. And this one was impeachment, and it was basically the whole Monica Lewinsky, Bill Clinton.
Ooh.
Yeah, I need to watch
I did
it.
not
Very
have sexual
good.
relations with that.
They also had the assassination of Gianni Versace was the second season.
I haven't watched that one.
That one started.
I
was
heard
pretty
that was
good.
I haven't watched it.
Yeah, so
like I said, true crime is something I kind of have to avoid.
Yeah, valid.
so impeachment was really good. Third season. It's definitely. They do a pretty good job of kind of showing both sides of everything and showing the deeper aspects to it all. There's some missing things obviously in there, but as someone who grew up in the 90s, I remember hearing about these things, but as a kid, I didn't understand like the full scope of everything.
Yeah, 100%.
And so, I mean, obviously it's still a show, so it's biased, but it was still interesting to kind of see the ins and
OJ
outs.
killed somebody? Whatever. Let's go play WCW.
Right. So yeah, next one up, I think I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. It's the show called Under the Banner of Heaven.
Yeah, it was your N Rev.
Highly recommend it.
Oh, yeah.
If you're a person of faith or have come from that, this show will creep you out and also interest you at the same time. Andrew Garfield is phenomenal. And then lastly, this one is one of probably my top 10 shows, and it's Narcos. And it tells a true life crime story and the growth and spread of cocaine drug cartels across the globe and attendant efforts of law enforcement to meet them head on in brutal, bloody conflict. The first 3 seasons are about Pablo Escobar, but it has actors like Wagner Mora, Holbrook, and the man, the myth, the legend, Pedro Pascal. He's in, I think, the first 2 seasons.
Of course.
So, yeah, really great show. And then lastly, since you mentioned it earlier, Waco. I forgot about that show.
I have not watched that.
Extremely creepy. Entertaining.
What is it about?
It's about
About a cult in Waco.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
And then it blew. Did it? No, it was on fire, right? Or did it blow up?
kind of both.
Yeah, it was real bad.
All kind of things.
The police showed
My favorite thing is when recently on TikTok, sorry, this is just a little tidbit. Recently on TikTok, people have trying to been like romanticizing Waco because of, like Chip and Joanna.
Oh, yeah.
So people are like, oh my God, Magnolia Market, Baylor University. And it's like, there's crazy things that go on in Waco.
Waco is
weird.
It is not as safe
It's
as they
not.
make it look
No.
on
It's so
uh,
bad.
They need to relocate.
Chip and Joanna show. Yeah.
But yeah, cool.
All right, let's move along to true crime documentaries. Harley, you take this away. Get all yours.
I literally have so many because I watch too many. So
yeah, you
first one.
did not take the 3 to 5 advice here.
Nope, not at all. I kind of forgot that was a thing. So first one, American Murder, The Family Next Door. That's basically. Whoa, I got really loud. I'm so sorry. That's basically about the this woman who her friend dropped her off at home, and then the husband called the police and was like, "Oh my God, my wife and my children are missing." Boom, plot twist. He put them in water tanks.
I watched that one. Was
wow.
that the Chris Watts one?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's his name. I keep forgetting.
I watched that one because it was real close to us. Right?
Maybe. It was definitely in a surrounding state of Texas, but I don't know how close. But yeah, insane. It was his work site. Boom, crazy. Second
Wow.
thing, don't F with cats. Hunting an internet killer. Lots of people probably know about this one. The guy basically went on YouTube, uploaded a video of him killing a cat. People were like, yo, dude, this is not cool. What are you doing? Turns out he was a killer.
Serial killer the whole
And
time.
in Canada. I forget his name too. I forget all of their names. These are key facts, but
They
it's
just kind
fine.
of blend together at a certain
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, that's really bad. But basically, all these people on the internet tracked him because he kept uploading different videos and things of this nature. And dead bodies on the internet. And so people on the internet found him, reported him to the police. Police finally caught him. Boom. Crazy.
Nice.
Third thing, Conversations with a Killer. This is the Ted Bundy tapes.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen it yet, but I want to.
I watched it when the movie came out, which I think Chris
yeah.
will probably mention later. Insane. Oh, hate that man.
The thing that really gets me about the Ted Bundy stuff is people think he was really attractive.
Yeah.
And I don't see it.
He's ugly. He's an ugly white man.
I don't see it.
The worst part for me is when people are like, he was really charming. And I agree with that. He was very charming, had a way with words.
But you can feel the evil.
Yes. There's just something about him that's like an eerie kind of charm. And I hate when people like are telling their stories about their small interactions with him. Anyways, there's that one. Abducted in Plain Sight. It was basically about this family where their neighbor pretty much sexually assaulted. I'm sorry. We should put a disclaimer on this episode.
I'll put that in the notes.
Yeah. Assaulted one of the daughters, kidnapped her twice, and without the family even knowing.
I watched this one. I did know about this one.
This one was insane. Basically, like, took her away, and they were just kind of like, oh, where's our daughter? Brings her back eventually, I think, and then kidnaps her again. Crazy. The disappearance of Madeleine McCann, I think is how you say it. McCann. Young girl, family, they traveled to somewhere. I forget all of the details. Traveled to somewhere. Basically, family comes in and discover they were like out for dinner. They come back. She's either missing or dead in the room. Lots of theories behind that. Lots of people think it was her brother because they were sharing a room. That's crazy. Still unsolved to this day. And then the last one is the Confession Killer, which is basically a man who went in. He either turned himself in or there was a recent murder and he somehow got involved with it. He confessed to hundreds of murders. And then it ended up being like revealed that he had nothing to do with any of them.
Oh.
Nothing to do with any of them.
That's insane.
So he was just confessing to confess and to be this big macho.
Wait, was that in Texas? Sounds familiar. That's why I'm asking.
It might have been, but wouldn't doubt it. It's Texas. So yeah.
All right.
Those are mine.
Texas. All right.
What'd you say?
I forgot that song.
Bowling for Soup, Come Back to Texas.
Oh yeah, that's the one with Ohio. We're talking
Yeah.
about Ohio. Yeah.
The Mexican food sucks north of here anyway.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Enjoy that small music break before we get back to talking about murder. All right. So my true crime documentaries that I've really enjoyed lately. First and foremost, Tim wrote his list before mine, so I'm going to let him.
No, you can take it. Go ahead. I got enough to cover over.
Oh, no, I'm saying there are two of them that you have on your list. The first two on your list are also supposed to be the first two on mine. So number one, Making a Murderer. That show was just bananas.
It was a big hit
to watch, like as part of a giant cultural experience, I guess.
It was like when WandaVision came out after like in the middle of the pandemic and all the nerds were watching it. It's like this was like America was like all watching Making a Murderer at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So this one was about Stephen Avery, who was just some guy that got accused of murder, and it was insane because he had called the lady to come check out a car, and then like she left his house according to him, but according to the police, she never left his house and she was dead and it was his fault. And he's like, I didn't do anything. Police coerced his nephew into testifying against him.
Which I wanted to pause there because when you were talking about your show earlier, when they see us, it's like, guys, this is not a
common thing.
This is a very common thing.
The criminal justice system doesn't care if you actually did it. If they think you might have done it or they just don't like you, they will frame you.
So
100%.
that whole innocent until proven guilty is not
so
real.
Stephen Avery, he was accused of a crime earlier, like before all of this stuff happened.
Okay.
And then got out of jail because they had framed him for that crime or they had accused him wrongly or whatever it was. I don't remember. But they owed him money, like over $1 million. They were going to have to pay him. And then this murder case just so happens that they can link him to it. So now they don't have to pay him and they get rid of somebody that they hate. Yeah. So they frame him, or I think they frame him anyway. And then they get his nephew or his something like that, his cousin, I don't remember, Brendan Dassey to testify against him. But Brendan Dassey is also they in the documentary they say he's mentally deficient. He's not very bright, and they coerce him into it. And then he ends up getting accused of the crime as well. So now it's 2 people in that family that murdered this woman, and neither of them have any idea, or they say they don't, of what happened to her.
Yeah.
And it's just insane to watch these documentaries like that to see how far they're willing to go.
I will pause here just to say something. This is what actually helped me in my deconstruction when it came to racial, like police brutality and everything. Is guys, just find yourself on the cops are evil part of the internet, like on Facebook or Facebook videos,
Reddit.
TikTok, whatever, Reddit, whatever. You will find so many videos of just regular police stops. To both, I mean, it's to both. It's primarily to black people, but it's both, where they don't care. They will
They'll straight up lie.
Yeah,
like, I pulled you over for speeding, and now I'm going to arrest you for drugs in your car. But
right.
there are no drugs in my car. Well, we'll find that out when we get the dog out
Yeah,
here.
get out the car. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
Not saying it's
Abuse
everyone,
of
but my
power.
God, there is a problem is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
There is a problem.
Systemic problem. Whether it's racially motivated or not is irrelevant. There is a systemic problem with power from the police.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to my list. So making a murder, insane.
Yeah.
Let's talk about crime scene, the vanishing at Hotel
This one was
Cecil.
freaking insane.
Oh my God.
I marinated over it for months.
I still
Months.
don't know. Like when I first heard about this case,
I'm gonna add it.
yeah,
It's
add it
about
to your
Elisa
list.
Lamb.
So
That
when I
name I
first
know.
heard about the case, it was like this woman was being possessed or haunted. It was presented as like a haunted story type
like
thing.
Yeah.
spooky stuff. whatever.
Which kind of threw me off because I don't like that type of stuff. But then they're like, well, maybe it was drugs and she was being trafficked, or maybe it was like a murder that the murderer knew where all the cameras were. Basically, she ends up, like, you see her on camera in the hotel,
In the
an
elevator. Yeah.
kind of acting really weird, and then she just goes missing. Nobody can find her until days later,
When
where
people are like,
the
"Oh,
water, like
yeah."
something in the hotel's water was like brown, or the pressure was low or something like that.
I think it's both.
So they go up to check the water tanks, and they find her body inside the water tank.
Okay.
Was
And
the
they're
lid
like,
open
how-
or closed? I can't remember.
The lid was closed.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're like, how did she get in here and close the lid? Because the water tank, like,
Yeah.
if you're in there, obviously you can open the lid and then get in, but you can't close the lid.
Interesting.
So
Once
like,
you're in,
how did
like,
this,
there's
how
nothing
did
to
this
stand
happen?
on.
Yeah.
So it was really suspicious, and they still don't know exactly what happened, but they finally found her body, and it was an
Wow.
intense
A lot of it is
story.
attributed to mental health because
Yep.
they like checked her like Tumblr and she was on medication, and like they realized that her bottle was like full and she should have been taking it, and there's like there's so many factors. But I also do think there's more at play
100%.
because the Hotel Cecil it was a screwed up hotel.
It's a very haunted hotel.
They're actually, I think they closed it officially.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, recently.
Cool.
So,
Good to know.
Thank
Super
God
haunted.
they started painting over that thing on the wall.
The thing that gets me is like when people are like, "Oh, there's this haunted hotel. Let's go stay in it." Like, no.
No.
Why would you do? Why are you paying
White people
Why are you
stuff.
paying money?
Yeah.
First of all,
Yeah.
why are you paying money to stay in a hotel that's haunted that you know is haunted? But why are you paying more money
Yeah.
to stay in a
Right,
haunted hotel
right.
than like a I would rather stay in a Holiday Inn than a super nice haunted hotel.
Yeah.
It's not even nice. That's the problem. It's a piece of shit hotel.
It's run
and
down.
there's a
It was
huge homeless
inexpensive.
population on that road
Yeah,
as
like
well.
the whole first floor has to be like gated up so homeless people can't climb into it. You know, moving on.
whole lot of things.
So next show, Wild Wild Country,
Insane.
also insane.
Yeah.
This one did not start out as a true crime documentary. I got sucked into it, and then I found out it was true crime. This is about a cult, quote unquote cult, that became a like a religious institution kind of type thing. The Beatles kind of checked it out. They didn't like follow it, but they visited with the leader of the cult. All kinds of really crazy stuff started happening though, and with most things, it did start off with racial issues because these are people that are kind of taking like Indian style teachings and molding them to their own culture and their own desires and things.
Well, the leader was
the leader was Indian.
Yeah.
He's they called him the Bhagwan, and
Like Indian?
yes,
Okay.
yeah. And then his number 2 and number 3, they were also Indian, and there were people from all different cultures. Some celebrities got really into it, but they're brown people that moved to the U.S. to start their own kind of compound, basically.
Okay.
And it was a self-sustaining community.
It worked for a minute.
It did. They had food. They were growing their own food. They were producing their own energy, clothing, making all their own stuff. But they were outside of a small town. I forget what state it was, but
Some Midwest town.
because
They had a lot of land.
some Midwest town. They were in the mountains. They were like terraforming the mountains so that everything worked out for them. It was a really cool setup. But the people in the town started getting a little antsy because, brown people are moving here. We don't like it.
Yeah.
So it became like they started harassing this cult, and in defense, the cult got violent because violence against them, the only way they can protect themselves is violence back. And it just devolved from there, and it became like a mind-controlling type cult, and the number 2 lady got involved way too much and started all kinds of craziness. Wild Wild Country, though, that is a trip of a show.
Yeah.
All right.
Watch that. Add that to your list if you
Yeah.
haven't seen it. And then the last one I just started watching with Janelle is Mind Over Murder.
Is that the one she's currently watching?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was wondering
so
what
this
it was
one
called.
is coming out weekly on HBO Max, and it is a series about this woman from Beatrice. I don't even know what the state is. It's another like small town Midwest style, where she was murdered and raped brutally by up to 6 people, and they were all just recently released because for whatever reason the courts decided that they did not do it. Even though they have DNA evidence and they have all kinds of like testimonies and written statements, the people being interviewed now, half of them are like, no, I was never there. I didn't do it. And the other half are like, this is the greatest regret of my life.
Oh,
and
and they're
they-
also like, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Right?
A lot of them, like, a lot of people are just like, what is going on here? And even the people involved are like, I have no idea what's going on here.
Yeah.
So
And
they
they're
were
try-
just released from prison.
Yeah.
And the town is doing a community theater play
Yeah.
Oh, my
based on that story.
Oh.
It's very crazy.
So they're like casting actors to be the people that also still live in this town.
What is
The people released from prison for this crime still live there.
what in the world?
It's intense. I'm on episode 3 of that series now, and I'm just like, what is happening with white people? Like this is something that you would not find in like an African American community.
Right.
Like it's not gonna happen. This is white people stuff.
No, absolutely.
No offense,
No.
but it is
None
white
taken.
people
None
stuff.
taken.
If
It's
it don't
true.
apply, let it fly.
All right, I'll do mine. Making Murder was on my list. Tiger King. I mean, come on.
That was the other one that was on my
it was-
list that I had to. I
I never
left for
watched Tiger King.
Really?
I feel
The
like
first season.
you. Oh
Carol
my
Baskin.
god, it's so funny.
It's
what I hear.
comedic more than anything else.
It's not supposed to be,
but
but
it
it
is.
is.
Yeah.
There's so many memes that came. Like this one,
This is gonna
the
financially-
zoologist, well, the quote unquote zoologist
unquote.
got their arm ripped off by a tiger, and he just runs into his office. I am never going to financially recover from this, bro. Your person is missing an arm. They are never going to financially recover from this, like, or physically.
Dude.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not recommending it, but it. Yeah,
I'm recommending it. I'll recommend it. I'm making my N Rev.
this one.
Tiger King.
Tiger King, Carol Baskins. That bitch, Carol Baskins.
Okay, we gotta move on. Next one, I think I mentioned this like earlier in the year. Operation Odessa. Essentially, long story short, Russian mobsters tried to buy a submarine. Colombian tried to buy a submarine from Russians for their cartel. Crazy story, based in reality. Almost did it, and would have been
Jeez.
absolutely remarkable. Like, now I'm not talking about like a 5-person submarine. I'm talking about like a legit
Like a war submarine.
war submarine. Like you could like fire off nukes on these things.
Oh.
Yeah. So, anyways, and then
I don't condone this behavior, but I don't hate
But
it.
I also want one.
right. And then last, conversations with Ted Bundy. Same kind of thing you were talking about earlier. It's just
There's a lot of
It's
info
wild.
on Ted Bundy
yeah,
out there.
he's yeah.
psychotic.
All right, we got to move on. Last part of our main segment here: top true crime movies. Chris, you start this one off.
Yeah, so extremely wicked, shockingly evil,
Yes.
and vile.
Yes.
Ted.
Again, Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy.
Mr. Bundy.
I think we've talked enough about that.
Yeah.
They're
Lily Collins was incredible.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm in love with her.
All right.
yeah. Sorry.
Just died for a
Lily
moment.
Collins, Phil Collins' daughter. If you guys don't
If you
know,
didn't know, Dude, now you know.
Yeah, not only is she an amazing actress in her own right, but she is the inspiration behind the most fire album of any Disney movie of all times.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, Ellie is 2 and she knows all of the Tarzan songs, which
As
is
she
insane.
should.
She should, but like word for word, she sings them
Wow.
to me.
She's
It's
such
intense.
a character.
And then Unbelievable, which I feel like I watched it as a movie, so I put this one as a movie. I realized after I wrote it out that it's actually more of a series.
Oh, okay.
But it is
You're
an
forgiven.
American true crime miniseries that it's about a woman. I think she was a woman at the time. I don't remember her age, but she was raped, and nobody believed her.
Yeah.
Like she went and reported it. Nobody believed her.
Wait,
So
I think I might have watched this.
yeah, probably. It's
Probably.
sorry. So the premise: Marie, who was a teenager, was charged with lying about rape. It's not that they didn't believe her; they charged her with lying about her rape. And the 2 detectives who followed the twisting path had to arrive at the truth, which it's based on a Pulitzer Prize-winning article called "Unbelievable Story of Rape," and it was just a really intense series that I thought was a movie. Just remembering. So there you go. There's that.
All right, I want to try to do mine super quick, but I actually discovered that I had a lot more movies than documentaries or shows that I really enjoyed about true crime. The first one is actually a comedy, and it was funny because we think about all these like murders and everything, but this one is called The Informant, and
That was a good one. I was gonna put this one on my list too.
It's based on the book by Kurt Eckenwald. Mark Whitaker has worked for Lysine developing company ADM for many years, and even has found his way into upper management, but nothing has prepared him for the job he is about to undertake, being a spy for the FBI, unwillingly pressured into working as an informant agent, the illegal price fixing activities of his company. So this is it has Matt Damon. And it's just one of those funny comedies where, if actually I have it poked out over there, if you look at his face on there, it's not pulled out all the way, but this is one of my favorite performances of Matt Damon because it's so not what you would expect out of Matt Damon. So anyways, next one, I watched this, I think, in the past year. It's called Foxcatcher. And it's about the real-life U.S. Olympic wrestling champions and brothers Mark Schultz and Dave Schultz. They joined, quote, Team Foxcatcher, led by eccentric multimillionaire John DuPont, as they train for the 1988 Olympic Games. Long story short, Steve Carell is absolutely phenomenal and creepy.
It's a dramatic role for him, which you don't usually see him in, and it was really
I am
good.
more and more convinced as I see Steve Carell in these other drama-based movies that I think he's actually a better drama actor than
I always
he is
love,
comedic.
like, you can say comedians can always do drama, but not all actors that are drama actors can do comedy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And he's one of the best examples.
Yeah, between this and Beautiful Boy, it's just, he's so good. But got Channing Tatum and Mark Ruffalo. They're the 2 brothers. Very good. Highly recommend. Next is a movie called Spotlight. It's a true story of how the Boston Globe uncovered the massive scandal of child molestation and cover-up within the local Catholic churches. How do you say that, Chris?
Archdiocese? I don't know.
Yeah.
Archdiocese.
Yeah, it's exactly, it's just that. I don't want to go into
The
too much
Catholic
detail,
Church is
but
a piece of shh.
it was. If it's still...
Stanley Tucci. Phenomenal performance in this one.
Yeah. Mark Ruffalo, Michael Keaton, Rachel McAdams, John Slattery, Stanley, and more. So next one is a fun one, Catch Me If You Can.
Also fun.
Yeah, it's got Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks, and essentially Leo is this
Con man.
Yeah, he just goes around the country creating, he basically makes up his own jobs by creating his own certificates. He becomes an airline pilot, a doctor.
Which you can never do now.
Or a lawyer.
Which is probably a good thing that I live in this century and not back then. It's like the 70s, 80s, like that is exactly what I would have done. I'd be a shyster.
Shyster.
So that's a fun one. Next, and on my last on my list is Zodiac, which is about the Zodiac Killer. It's got Jake Gyllenhaal, Robert Downey Jr., Mark Ruffalo.
I hear that's a really good one.
It is very good.
Mark Ruffalo's in a lot of true crime stuff, I'm realizing.
So is Leo.
Yeah.
And what was it? Who?
What are you, an owl?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wait, what's that from?
I don't know.
Ah, that's a quote. It's definitely a quote from something. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. So, anyways, Zodiac is a great one. Notable mentions: The Big Short, American Hustle, The Wolf of Wall Street, Legend,
That's what
and
I was
Child
gonna
44. Oh, and American Made and The Trial of Chicago 7.
Still couldn't watch the Trials of Chicago 7.
That's a
either.
hard one.
Yep.
Harley, finish this thing up.
So my first one was, as Tim had mentioned, The Wolf of Wall Street. I didn't realize until much later that it was based on a true story.
Yeah.
That
Jordan
it's
Belfort?
Yeah.
Wild.
What
He's
the
out of
heck?
prison now,
Yeah.
and he does a lot of like sales meeting consultant things. As a salesperson, I cannot tell you how many of my higher ups like refer to his stuff, and I'm like, bro,
He's
was
a
in prison.
criminal.
He is not a role model, guys.
He's a
my
criminal.
manager has his book on the shelf, and I'm like, oh,
Yikes.
like obviously when he's not committing
Crime.
massive crimes,
Yeah.
the stuff that he says is accurate and true to sales, but like you toe the line when you're following his info.
Yeah, kind of crazy. The second one is My Friend Dahmer. That has Ross Lynch in it. Do you know who Ross Lynch is?
Yes.
Jeffrey Dahmer, the people Dahmer.
But this is actually not based on his killings. It's based on when he was like a teenager and how he like came about becoming a serial killer. So it's like it takes you into like his home life and like things like that, and like how he like started like killing animals and experimenting with animal parts and all this crazy stuff, and how he had no friends and he just kind of stalked all these women, and crazy stuff, which is weird to see a well-beloved Disney actor in that position. And the last one is the Amityville Horror. Watched this at way too young of an age.
Yeah.
It's a horror film.
I mean, you're an
it
adult
has-
now, and I'd still say it's too young.
still
of an
too
age.
young.
Yeah. It had Ryan Reynolds in it, I'm pretty sure, the 2005 one. And it was basically combined with like, you know, paranormal, because that's like the theory. He like murdered his entire family, but he has no recollection of it, or the voices told him to do it.
Yeah.
And so it's part paranormal, part like true crime based off of the actual Amityville Horror.
Yeah.
Ronald DeFeo Jr. So yeah, that's all I got.
All right. Well, everybody, we hope you enjoyed this.
We hope you didn't enjoy it, because that would be
If you're-
indicative of another problem.
Yeah,
Well, true.
There's a lot of good things to watch in here. A lot of things that you should watch.
This is basically just an extended Wreck and Rev
Yes,
Pretty much.
for true crime specifically.
I think the biggest takeaway from here, at least for me, why I'm so interested in true crime, is one, because it's like interesting to know like what has happened and like the psychological things that
Yes, me too.
have caused it to happen, but also what to look out for. Like I know what a sociopath is.
Yeah.
I recognize
As
them.
well, you should.
That's
Yeah.
why I liked Mindhunters, because it really kind of started to deep dive into all that of like, this is the things that you need to look out for. This is how, and it's always the why. It's always the how. Like people don't just snap one day. There's certain parts
There are
of you.
signs.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
are things that you develop over time,
Like
which is
killing
why
animals.
we need healthcare, mental health care, and why we need therapy and universal health care, because God, we're a screwed up nation.
Yeah, it's really intense. There's some that I've wanted to watch. Like there's the one about the Columbine shooting. It's more about his
Yeah.
mom, one of the guys' moms, and like the home life that. So it pertains to that. Like, so like the home life, and how she's like, love could not have prevented him from doing this, and it was like, oh,
But couldn't.
but it could. It possibly could. So. And then it also goes into like the way that how families are responsible for their family members going out and murdering people.
Right.
So it's like we don't talk about that enough when
Yeah.
it comes to true crime.
Agreed.
So very good.
All right, everybody. Well,
Sorry.
We're just gonna head off to
Yeah.
our break now.
yeah, don't go anywhere. We're not done yet. We got some great fan questions just around the corner, so we'll be right back. All right, everybody. Hope you're all still with us.
If you're not, we understand.
Yes.
It's been an episode.
All right, so we are. Man, that was something. True crime, man. It's wild to see the differences in like different stories, like in the documentaries versus the shows, and man, it's just wild.
Look, I think I've decided I'm going for it.
Oh.
I'm just gonna start watching true crime, and
Jinkies.
Let me know. We'll do always more crime pod. You know.
we might.
Oh.
We might.
All right, well, we gotta do this quickly, but we're excited because we got some fan questions to do, and so this is part of the show where we answer your questions. In case you didn't remember, we have a hotline to leave your voicemail questions. It's at 254-218-4042.
Once again, that is 254-218-4042.
Chris, did you want to dive into this first question?
So, my buddy Alan from my days at Disney asked,
It's the whole thing. Just
in the
prepare.
song Same Girl by R. Kelly featuring Usher, the main conflict is that they find out they're both messing with the same girl. The music video, however, reveals a plot twist at the end where it turns out that they were dating twins. The problem here is that this is highly improbable because for the initial confusion to occur, it would mean both twins drive the same black Durango with the Angel license plate. Both work at TBS and they live in the same place, which would be fine since it could mean that they're simply roommates and carpool to work together to save gas, and they can both easily share a love for Waffle House. But both twins would need to have the same tattoo on their ankles, the same beauty mark on the left side of their mouth, not to mention they both have pink and blue phone. More so, if these twins were so close to the point of living and working together with their respective kid, and they were dating their respective recording artists, R. Kelly and Usher, you'd think they would mention it to each other. And since R. Kelly and Usher are also implied to be extremely close homies, as evidenced by the fact in the music video Usher is on one of the only 5 contacts R. Kelly has on his phone, each twin would surely mention that the respective twin is dating the other man's close friend, especially R. Kelly one, since their relationship was so serious to the point of her being his potential wife. I also find it very hard to believe that Usher, R. Kelly never discussed their own lover by name, which would clear the confusion immediately, assuming that the twins have different names. Otherwise, it would be extremely effed up that their parents named the twins the exact same. Anyways, my question is, what is your favorite fruit?
Mangoes.
Peaches.
I'm going to stick with mango myself. Yeah, mango.
Thank you for that, Alan.
I miss you, Alan.
That was really good. And also, it's not a great question because it mentions R. Kelly, and that just didn't age well, I feel like. Especially
I
right
feel
now.
like it was fine.
But like even just the mention of R. Kelly kind of makes me want to slam my head into a table.
That's fair, as well it should. But yeah, so that was Alan's question.
Thank you,
to
Alan.
answer your question, Alan, mangoes for me.
Peach.
Mangoes.
All right.
Chelsea Solace through a bunch of topics. So here's one: the length of school days.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. So I found some stats. I mean, she didn't like have questions. It was just like, here's some ideas.
Something to talk about.
Yeah. So
okay.
the length of school day. So I found some stats regarding school day durations and days a year spent in school. There's no I couldn't find a lot of actual articles. It was more like,
Yeah.
I don't know how they, because a lot of them need to even source everything. So I could be very wrong, but I remember some of these being right. So here's where it comes up pretty high. So the Chinese students spend about 9.5 hours at school a day. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a long time. Australia, UK, and Japan is about 6.5, and that's also, I forgot to mention, that's not including lunch. Like they have lunch in the middle, and then Japan is 6.5. Brazil is just 5. Now here's total term days a year. Japan has 230. That's the high end. You got China, South Korea 220, UK 190, France 160.
So what is the U.S.?
I can't remember.
It varies.
Yeah,
I know
and
that.
that was the complicated part behind this because it varies state by state.
Yeah.
Oh.
I do know there are some countries that they do 4 days out of the week instead of 5. They do
Right.
half of the time that we do, but their scores, their numbers, their testing is all much higher than
Oh,
ours.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Which-
that's one
That's
of the
more
things that kept
indicative
going.
of our school system
Yeah.
than actual time spent in the classrooms or
Right.
anything like that. Because if you can figure out a way to teach kids in less time, you should.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. It's a weird topic. I
It
feel
is.
like 4 days out of the week is enough.
Well, here's another thing I didn't include in my notes here, but there's some countries where their school year is spread out, where they might have a lot more days, but they have bigger breaks in between.
Yeah, they have their spring break is like a full month.
Right.
Their winter break is like a full month instead of just like a 2 week
Yeah.
type thing.
Yeah.
Or things like that. There's like 1 month on, 1 month off.
Yeah, yeah. So I think Japan has it to where it's like in four different parts of the year. So you have 2 months, then off.
They
a
have
month, 2 months.
seasonal terms
Right,
Yeah.
more
right.
so than anything.
Which makes more sense than the way we do it. Just like they pick random arbitrary 9-week periods,
Yeah.
Yeah.
slap 2 of them together, give you a week-long break in between them, and then summer, which
Or
is
just like a single
2.5
holiday.
months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's weird because I'll like watch like vlogs. I watch a lot of vlogs on like YouTube of like people, like, oh, student, a day in my life kind of thing.
Right.
And it's like a student who's like in Korea and she's like, I don't even know what time. Like she gets up at the crack of dawn and is like functioning for like God knows how many hours. And she's like, oh, time to go to school. And then she goes to school for like it seems like the entire day. But then they have like lunch hour or like lunch 2 hour,
Yeah,
if for all I know.
right.
And then she like doesn't leave and go home until like it's dark outside. And it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, how do you just like you live like this? And then they have like all their extracurriculars on top of it too. Makes no sense.
Wild.
What movie was it? Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. When the kid was like in an American school, got expelled for racing cars and destroying like a developing neighborhood, so they sent him to Japan to live with his dad. And like in the middle of the day, they're just like, "Oh, let's go drifting." Like,
Yeah.
and then they're back at school later. Like, I don't understand
Yeah.
school
It
systems.
doesn't make any sense to me. And like what's worse is even higher education.
Mm-hmm.
We get like huge breaks in between.
Yeah.
And we have really short semesters.
Yeah.
And it's just straight to the point.
That's why it's really hard to focus in college.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Chelsea, for the idea there. Looking
It
forward.
just makes no sense is what our
It's what we're all
conclusion
saying
is.
here. All right. Last question. Meredith,
Yanchek.
thank you. Asked, would you rather have to face down a 10-foot tall duck or a 3,000 regular sized ducks?
What do y'all think? I know my answer. What do y'all think?
I think I'm taking the 10-foot tall duck.
The question is, are we armed with anything?
Yeah, we gotta be.
Because
no.
if
This
it's
is a
just
fist fight.
because I
Ducks
think
don't have
Just
fists.
you versus the duck.
I don't
no
think,
weapons.
I don't think there's a win in either way here. I don't think there's a win-win situation. Granted, you have a 10-foot duck; it's just one duck. But dude, those beaks are hard.
Yeah.
And they're fast.
Or bills.
Like I
What are-
can't imagine 3,000 ducks
See, that's my thing. Like
coming at me.
I could take
Yeah, I
I
can-
could take some smaller ducks, but
3,000?
wave
3,000?
after wave, like
Yeah.
you're gonna get tired.
Yeah.
Like I could pick up a duck and use it as a
Is it
weapon
like
against
zombies?
the other ducks.
Well, maybe that's a good point.
But as long as they're still coming, like you are absolutely gonna get tired. I would rather take the 10-foot duck.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Because
It's your greatest chance.
the way
Yeah.
I'm envisioning it is like Call of Duty Zombies, where they come in waves, and you get like a certain amount of ducks per wave.
Yeah.
And so maybe, but that's a lot of
But
waves.
you
to
also
get
have to
3,000
organize
ducks.
these.
Right.
You also have to like expect these ducks to be organized, or just 3,000 ducks rush you all at once.
That's
like
See,
horrifying.
the only win
saw
I
a
can see
TikTok
out of this is like
this
you have
the
to
other
like
day.
go behind this 10-foot duck and
and
like
choke it out.
Choke it out.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was thinking. Yeah. No, that is exactly what I was thinking. You choke out this 10-foot duck.
Like,
or
that's-
just
that's
like
the only-
freaking
that's the only thing you do.
Indiana Jones it, like Kalima, and like rip out its heart. But I mean, you got to get around the beak because they'll peck straight down on
Oh,
you and
yeah.
I
like, break
will
your
be
skull.
consumed by this duck. It would just
Now,
eat
here's
me
the
alive.
dangerous thing is if there's a lake nearby, you get on his back, he's sucking you down.
Oh,
That's
Yeah,
they roll. They roll in.
yeah,
Yeah.
They'll
Water.
take you out like a crocodile. Death roll. I would rather take the 10-foot duck though.
I think we just
I'd take
realized
the-
that ducks are actually kind of dangerous.
No, they are.
100%.
You ever been to the CTC duck pond? Oh,
I could take 300 ducks. I think 3,000.
No, you're
3,000. I'm
bro,
not doing
I
it.
could probably not even take 3 ducks. I just don't want to kill them.
It's like the
That's my other
it's like the
problem.
compies
It's you
from,
or the duck.
I guess I'm dying. The duck,
Typical Gen Z answer. Bro, I'll just die.
like, what else I got to live for? Taxes?
You want me to
Student
live here
debt?
and pay taxes?
Rent?
Yeah, I gotta buy a house. Do you want me to keep going to work every day, bro? If there's an opportunity, I'll just die.
Yeah.
Gen Z is not surviving any kind of apocalypse, not because they can't.
Because
they don't
we don't
want,
want
to.
to. We don't want to. We're tired of this. Like,
Tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn
and
bad.
I'm really, this is a whole different, this is completely diverts from the original topic, but it's the fact that older generations get mad at us for not wanting to cooperate with a system that was not built for us.
Yeah.
No,
Like, why are you mad at
Don't blame
me
you.
for realizing your mistake?
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly why, because you're realizing their mistake and they don't like that stuff
That
pointed
part.
out.
That part.
Ding, ding, ding.
100%.
Hate it
So
here.
to answer your question, Miss Y, I would take the 10-foot duck
Yep.
Agreed.
if I were fighting to live. If I'm kind of adapting that Gen Z type thing.
Maybe I could befriend this duck. I could have a large duck. I don't need a car.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. What if you
Give it a lot of bread.
Can we
You
cut
don't
this
have
out?
to. You don't have to fight the duck. She just said face down. You have to face down a 10-foot duck.
What does that mean?
That means like you're in a staring contest. If you can prove
No,
that
it
you're,
doesn't.
Yeah, like like I'm facing down Tim right now,
I've never heard
and if
that
I can
terminology
prove that
in
I'm
my
the
life.
dominant one, maybe I can make Tim do whatever I want
You know what the best part of that is?
and be my friend.
Their eyes are on the side.
So you
So really-
you just had to,
You
you
can't
had to
even
just
see-
do one
I
eye.
don't think that's true.
What does a duck look
I don't
like?
think ducks have eyes on the sides of their heads.
It's more like,
It's in the middle.
yeah.
It's not forward facing, but it's also not completely,
Right.
It's not fish.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm imagining like a fish where it's like,
Dude, they're definitely on the side.
no,
Look at that.
Oh.
Side view.
You know what?
Duck.
She's kind of right.
I'm telling you.
there is a bill in front of their face,
look,
and
this
it divides
is-
it.
I cannot believe that I am right now Googling duck.
Forward-facing duck.
Just duck. Forward facing.
Oh, don't
duck.
do that. You're gonna regret that.
I hate it. Duck face.
See, it's like kind of.
Okay, they can see. They can
it's
see.
kind of,
It's
but
like
not like
this
out
way,
to the
though.
side. They're like diagonal kind of, I guess.
Which I guess is all of them, all the animals that
Imagine
have
this
that.
staring at you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't like that.
a 10-foot version of that.
I think I could win.
No. Imagine if it was like
I'm gonna
a
flirt
goose.
with it.
Flirt with it.
Can I flirt with it?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Can
like,
I
what a nice little
seduce the duck?
What a nice little beak you have there.
Roll, I guess. I don't know if you guys are on D&D TikTok. I actually don't even play D&D, but I'm on D&D TikTok. So
Is it because of Stranger Things?
I don't even know how I got there, truthfully. It was definitely before
Like
Stranger
this
Things.
duck? Oh, you're going down.
But it's like you walk up
Basement.
to a castle and you see a door. Can I seduce the door? No. Can I seduce the door? No. I would like to try to seduce the door. Nobody is seducing the door. Can I break the door down? Yes. Roll to break the door down. Oh, it's a 12. That breaks the door down. Now you're in a room and you see a second door. Can I seduce this door? No.
On that note, we are done with our show, everybody. Any final thoughts today?
True crime is terrifying, but
I
I'm
could take
going to
down a
dive into it.
10-foot duck.
I would rather fight a 10-foot duck than 3,000 regular ducks for sure.
Yeah.
And truthfully, that's all I got.
The words
Did you forget
they
what
were
you were
in
gonna
my
say?
head, but they weren't processing through the mouth.
That happens.
Know the signs of your serial killers.
Yes.
Look out for your friends.
It's actually,
you-
yeah.
They're in our homes and
If
our
you
neighborhoods.
have a friend that might be a serial killer,
Please let us
please
know.
give us a call at 254-218-4042.
We'll forward it to our local police.
Yeah.
No, we won't.
Actually, no,
I'm
we
not
have
telling
to
the
take them
cops
down.
nothing.
You're right.
I'm not telling the cops nothing.
Because then
Ain't
we'll
no
be
snitches
incriminated.
Over here. Snitches
Whoa.
get stitches.
Criminals.
don't care.
Serial killers?
I don't care.
Christopher.
What proof?
What?
What? With what proof? You just think your friend might be a serial killer, so you're going to tell me and I'm supposed to go tell the cops? That's how I get arrested.
Yeah, true.
On that note, we should advocate for mental health.
Oh, the new.
Yeah.
Oh, never
Please.
mind.
So I got a new doctor. I told you that.
Yes.
She actually listens to me. So I'm also getting a new therapist soon.
Hey.
That'd be nice.
Very good.
All right, guys. Thank you all again for listening to our podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, share, and leave a 5-star rating on your favorite podcast platform. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at AlwaysMorePod. Where can we find you?
Oh, I am on TikTok at Christopher.Lionheart, and I'm on Instagram as Captain_CT Ford.
Harley.
I am on the gram at what Harley, WUT Harley, and on the clock app at harleybean.co.
And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Timothy Liechty. It's Liechty. Thank you all again for listening and being a part of the conversation. And remember, there is always more than this. Bye! Thank you for listening to the Always More podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, share, like, and rate on whatever your platform of preference is. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Always More Pod. If you'd like to submit a question, you can ask us on any of our social media platforms, or you can leave us a voicemail at 254-218-4042. 4042. If you'd like to feed into our caffeine addiction as well as support the podcast financially, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com/alwaysmorepod. For further information and to contact us, you can email us at alwaysmorepodcast@gmail.com.